We're up and running.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, again, good morning. First thing we have on our agenda are minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections?
I move to approve the proceedings of Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County for Tuesday, February 6, 2024 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, February 6, 2024. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Planning. Come on down. Do we have, first thing we have on our agenda is a public hearing. Looks like we have everybody here and present. All right, Kim, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for a review and determination regarding a proposed subdivision amendment application of Lot B of the Wyatt West Ranch subdivision and boundary line adjustment submitted by C&G Slice of Life LLC, on property located at 13968 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 28 acres more or less, and Johnny and Machelle Stinson on property located at 13750 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 62 acres more or less, both located north of Highway 160 and west of Road 42, situated in Section 2, Township 36 North, Range 13 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, February 20th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 6th day of February, 2024, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, if you give us an overview on this one.
Sure. So this is basically a boundary line adjustment, but because the C&G Slice of Life property is in a subdivision, it's going through the subdivision process. So the Stinsons are trading the 5.5 acres on the north of their property for the 5.5 acres at the south of the C&G Slice of Life property. The access to C&G's residence and property is on an easement there to the north, and this way they will just own the property that accesses their house and residence.
Okay. Questions?
No. Look at this.
Questions, Commissioner? So I guess I have one question, the access, which is hard to see because of the purple line, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, it's right along with the electric.
That's the driveway right there?
Correct.
That goes to the residence?
It goes to the residence that's on another lot of that subdivision.
Okay.
It's also owned by C&G.
They own both lots. And it's a recorded easement, but this just gives them the whole north property that's theirs, and they don't have any use for that south sections.
Right, so they're just swapping the north for the south?
Correct.
Okay. All right, would you like to add anything?
I don't have anything to add. We just feel like it would just clean all the lines up.
Okay. All right, well, if you guys don't have any questions at this time?
No.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium. State your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. All right, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application. I will bring it back to the commissioners, gentlemen.
I don't have anything further. P&Z,
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval.
So when this change occurs, it's gonna come to that bottleneck and just end? I see what I'm talking about. When this comes across, they're
So,
trading this
for that,
for that.
yep. So this property line would now be here, down, and across the hash line. So they're basically trading that for that. Correct?
Correct.
The north, the
Okay.
north
Okay.
for the south.
Yeah.
They're just moving it.
Correct. The Stinson would give up the north, and they would gain that northeast corner.
okay.
Which is where their easement exists right now.
Correct. For C&G on the east.
So the hashed lines are going to be the permanent boundary lines after this
Correct.
on the north and the south. So then they could still access this property anywhere here, and then this gives access to this property up
To
here.
both of these.
Yeah.
They own both of them, is that?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
And it looks like there's just the one residence on the lot that's off of 42 right now? Is that, am I seeing that right? Is it just the one residence there?
Correct. The Stinsons have one residence on theirs, and then C&G has theirs on the northeast
Upper?
corner on a separate lot. But
Okay.
that easement goes through
Okay.
the bigger lot to the smaller lot.
So, is the water tank going where the little squares off of it?
Correct. The water line
Water
project
company?
is designed to be on that 1 acre parcel.
Okay, okay.
And that we approved a year ago, or probably
Probably.
It's been a while.
2 years?
Kind of.
I was thinking it was on the other side,
Yeah.
when they first presented, I was thinking that was on the other side of that driveway, that little piece.
I'm
on
not,
the
no,
other
it's
side.
that little cutout piece right off Road 41. I mean,
Okay.
Road 42, excuse me.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Good.
I would so move that we accept the proposed subdivision amendment application of Lot B of the Wyatt West Ranch subdivision and boundary line adjustment submitted by C&G Slice of Life LLC on property located at 13968 Road 42 Mancos, consisting of 28 acres more or less, and Johnny and Machelle Stinson on property located at 13750 Road 42 Mancos, consisting of 62 acres more or less.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision amendment application of Lot B of the Wyatt West Ranch subdivision and boundary line adjustment submitted by C&G Slice of Life LLC on property located at 13968 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 28 acres more or less, and Johnny and Machelle Stinson on property located at 13750 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 62 acres more or less. Is there any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will close this public hearing.
Thank
There
you.
you go, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Yep. Okay, next we have a conversation for an exemption.
Yep.
Mr. Lovett, would you come on down?
Keenen Lovett is here as the agent for the owners and the applicant. So this is an exemption application for the Margaret Gaddis Estate. Their property north of Road J is cut off by the county road, and so they're applying for an exemption to have that as a separate parcel. It's currently in a conservation easement, and
This is the,
they're right now leasing it for cattle grazing, and I believe the owner that's leasing it is wanting to buy it, but I don't know any other developments allowed there, but they're wanting to exempt that property off because it's cut off by Road J.
And as well as in a conservation easement, so it doesn't, the remaining, the portions of the property south of Road J are not subject to the conservation easement, so it's kind of a blended parcel and acreage.
Yeah. And it is cut off. So the red is the main barn, if I remember right. Is that what we're looking at, Don, right off of J Road? That's the barn and
the main big barn is here.
Correct, the
Two-
barn.
So this
the
is
two
the
different
little,
parts,
yeah, the little one to the west.
west.
Yeah.
Correct, where Medicine Horse operates.
Right.
So why is this being brought as an exemption as opposed to a subdivision application?
Because state statute allows for it to be exempted as its own parcel when the government entity cuts it off from the rest of the property.
Road J, I mean, basically the government entity put a road right through the property that has already, in a way, caused a natural segregation of the property.
Questions? And in the conservation easement, it basically is gonna stay just as it is.
It
right
stays on that
now. On
north section.
portion north, or I guess it would be north of J Road, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, that's also swampy down through there. Was there actually a building envelope on that conservation easement for those parcels or not?
Not that I'm aware of it in my experience with the property, which hasn't been that long here the last couple of years dealing with the estate and the Double J Ranch. I'm unaware of a building being down there. And you're right, it's right there along the river. I think it'd be very difficult to ever develop it.
Drops right off the roadway, and it drops, what, 20, 30 feet down into a well?
20 feet probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's so wet, you can't even hardly ride a horse across it.
It's that way,
It's that wet.
yeah.
It's that wet. Seriously wet. Yeah, the alluvial of the river's under all of that parcel coming down through there, most of it. There is a couple little ridges that come off of there. That's why I was
Yeah.
asking if there was any building envelope on them, because
I mean, maybe right there on the very south, maybe that very southwest corner, possibly. But again, it's still subject to the conservation easement.
yeah.
Right.
Well, if they didn't put it on there if they didn't put a building envelope in it when they put the conservation easement on there, it won't happen,
Correct.
period.
Yeah.
So. It should have been in the conservation easement originally. if it was there.
Yeah, this is just an exemption to separate it from the existing acreage to the south by the means of the road. It's pretty much is the question in front of us today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a problem, Ian?
No, I mean, you can do this through an exemption, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, because the road does cut it off.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
it does completely cut it off and,
Yep.
you know.
Go ahead.
You okay?
Yeah.
I move to approve this exemption application submitted by the Margaret Johnson Gaddis Estate on property located at 4752 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 83.36 acres, more or less located south of Highway 160.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and approve an exemption application submitted by Margaret Johnson Gaddis Estate, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located at 40752 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 83.36 acres, more or less, located south of and east of Highway 160. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Now on to the next one.
Next one is the parcel to the east of that. Same situation, same scenario under the Double J Ranch. That property north of J is also in a conservation easement. I'm sure the same stipulation as the Gaddis property. Again, it's cut off by Road J. So they are just looking to have that as a separate parcel.
Identical.
Yeah, it's identical scenario.
So both of these parcels are going to get separated potentially because of the road. That's
Correct.
it. And now it's in an estate, and just to clean up the estate.
Yeah, well, this one, the previous one was in the estate. This one is actually owned by Double J Ranch LLC, which is all the same individuals that are involved in the estate. And yes, to clean things up and for different marketing reasons, the Double J and the estate have, this one they've specifically talked about with the town of Mancos. I think there's a little park area there to the north of what we're talking about. You know, possibly just being able to give this to the city to be able to utilize a larger park space. Because it is, this one's actually probably worse than the one to the west as far as being pretty soggy.
I think that whole area is that same way, isn't it?
It is. That whole area down through there's that way. It's just wet.
Any questions?
No.
All right, Commissioner.
I move to approve this exemption for application submitted by Double J LLC on property located at 4920 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 346.94 acres, more or less, south of Highway 160.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the approval of the exemption application submitted by the Double J LLC agent Keenen Lovett on property located at 40920 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 346.94 acres, more or less, located south and east of Highway 160. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And we were able to upgrade our GIS maps. Previously, they had all that area south of Road J on both properties in a conservation easement. So that wasn't the case. So our GIS maps have been updated to reflect that.
Okay. Very good. All right, item number 3, we also have another
Another exemption
exemption.
application. I don't see Josh here. So this is up on Road W, up east of McPhee. And this is the same scenario. This is a 370 acre parcel. For some reason, with the county road, could not follow the section line. Not sure how these properties got developed, but there's a section there, roughly 5 acres, that is cut off by Road W that Hindmarsh and Sloan are looking to exempt that parcel off of the rest of the remaining 300 plus acres. There's an existing easement, you see there right above the Road W sign that goes to another residence. And then on the far west, for Road 29-2 there was a section of property from the north, but the road was actually built on the Hindmarsh Sloan property. So along with this plat, they would grant an additional 15-foot access easement to encompass the existing road on the ground to cover that red sign road. So that'll help clear that up in the process. But yeah, the road missed the property, so technically it would be a trespassing issue, but yeah, there. Road W cuts this off, and so they're looking to exempt that off. And just to the east of there, south of W, there's 3 or 4 other properties, roughly the same size and acreage, 4.6 to 6 acre lots. That's not a subdivision, but they were created, and it kind of looks like a subdivision.
So, yeah, I'm seeing a piece over there, like you said, to the east of that 5 acres.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea how big that's? Somewhere around 4?
That one's probably a couple acres, and then one more to the east is just a sliver, so there's some fragmented pieces, but those fragmented ones really aren't anything usable unless they wanted to do a boundary line adjustment with whoever owns the property to the north, just to convey that extra property to them. But south of W on the east there's actually 3 or 4 lots that are, can you bring up the other map,
5
Travis?
acres.
Yeah.
Good. Gerald, you all right?
Good.
I would so move we grant the exemption application submitted by Brandon Sloan and Marsh and Hindmarsh, Agent Josh Boren, on property located at 28502 Road W, Dolores.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to grant and approve an exemption application submitted by Brandon Sloan and Hindmarsh, Agent Josh Bourne, on property located at 28502 Road W, Court, Dolores, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay, and then it looks like we have a Mylar.
We have a Mylar for
Or
the
2
exemption
Mylars.
amendment for Wayman and Hall, and we have the Mylar for the single lot development for James Kennedy and Kaiser, and we also have the exemption amendment plat for Benavides that was approved 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I think so. My signature doesn't carry the same weight as yours.
Excellent.
No, Jeff. Text him back, tell him I called him a little bit.
No, whenever we start a conversation with that patient, I know it's bad, and I'm gonna be very strong in my saying, don't do it, don't do it. I know just from the tone of that statement and the time it was presented, don't do it. You know, attorneys have like little neck hairs back here that like come up. You hear stuff like that, and mine just. It's called the etheric sense. Yeah, that's right.
There's two class, but you only have to sign one.
Did you look at those deals the state of Colorado trying to pass to replace that, because the Supreme Court ruled it what they did in the Sacramento, the waters of the US. Colorado's trying to pass a law to basically replace it back like it was before the Supreme Court ruled on it. Trying to make it back like it was, where they can control any of the water in the state.
Keep you on task.
Does it have traction?
Yeah. The worst problem is there's two different ones. One's coming from the some of the senators that Margaret from up there by Greeley. One's coming from her. The other one's coming from the governor's office. And basically, you have to have a permit like all that around here. You could any dredging fill within.
And now you have to sign, also you have to sign this. Yeah.
That'll wipe everything.
That's what it says.
What's the pulse on it? Did you get a sense of, I mean the governor's knows.
It exempts a lot of that area extra, for ditches and all the wetlands from extra. But you take like all that place there where I run on that, where that alluvial or that river's under that, you could never do anything with it. Cause any of that, any waters in Colorado, none, so.
Great. As long as we both don't crash land.
I'll be there to coach it all the way down.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you wait a week to jump, and we'll talk about it, and if you still wanna jump next week, then jump. But that's like always a good thing. Let's go chat, let's go, no, we haven't talked.
All right, let's see, what did the attorney say? I'll take that under review?
Yeah, I'll take that under advisement.
I'll take that under advisement. Okay, I've been advised.
Yeah.
Oh, Ian.
So much to make it, or to get stuck?
I'm the bear.
Well, I'm sure he's gonna make it.
Okay.
He was probably just wanting to know if we decided where to meet.
We keep going at this rate, we can meet at the Ute for breakfast.
Man, I kinda got my sights set on Chili Brianos.
Well, we can find something to
We
do.
were at 11.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely find something to do. Might make it.
Walk around different offices and torment people. Okay.
Okay. What else
That's
do you have for us?
Pretty much winds it up for us for today.
All right. Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to our agenda is the public comments session. The Board of Montezuma County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Persons speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, and may be reduced to allow all the members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record. Prior to providing your comments, comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. With that, the public comment session is open.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
David Robeson, 15329, County Road 31, Mancos, Colorado 81329. I'm also Precinct 12 co-chair of the MCRCC. I spoke to you several weeks ago about election integrity and purging the voter rolls. This is my deceased wife's ballot that I received for the upcoming presidential primary. I have read the Colorado Revised Statutes and the Secretary of State's election rules, and there's nothing preventing our county clerk. Also, there's nothing commanding her to remove deceased voters from the rolls. So I called the Secretary of State because the county clerk told me she couldn't purge the name because the Secretary of State wouldn't allow that. So I called the Secretary of State. They said that is not their policy. I asked for a email confirmation of that statement, and I have not received it. I have since sent them an email requesting an email confirmation of that statement, and I have not received that either. So I think that there's malfeasance going on in the Secretary of State's office. I do not trust our election processes. I don't trust the machines. Now my wife is immaterial. How many deceased voters are on the rolls in Montezuma County and furthermore the state of Colorado? And what happens to these ballots once they're mailed out? And I'm not going to turn this one in, but who does? How many of them are turned in? How is it affecting our election integrity? And I think that that is something that we need to deal with here in Montezuma County and statewide for that matter. But that's all I have to say to you today. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Mays, 21693 County Road 21 in Lewis. Have a couple of things. First thing, it's probably just details, but on the agenda today there were two Mylars that were shown that were going to be signed by the commissioners today, and there were three. I know that's my little note saying details. You know, we're a small community. But anyway, ballots. I have to agree with the gentleman that just spoke. We do need to have better cleaned up rolls, and I don't know whose job that is. But ballots came out just this last week for our presidential primary. And I don't know what our Secretary of State is trying to do with having all of those, it's just confusing, having all of those names on there on the Republican ballot. I don't know what's on the Democrat ballot, but those uninformed, I like Ron DeSantis. He's got an R in his name. I think I'll vote for him, who has dropped off of the campaign. But Anyway, it's just another confusing thing that gets thrown out there for the public, we the people, that we have to deal with. And that's just, we don't need that. And then the other one, I'm sure, the other ballot that went out was the Democrat ballot, and I hope there's no one in Montezuma County that will continue the Joe Biden administration, but everybody is happy with free stuff that administration is doing, so who knows. But anyway, the other thing that I have is public safety sales tax. I heard from credible sources here just the other day that the League of Women Voters are the ones that are going to market the public sales tax to the public. And I think we need to make sure that whoever is doing that has all of the information, who's going to be taxed, what's going to be taxed, and how is that going to help the local folks when we're here every day buying stuff. I know it's being put on the story that people visiting our area will have to pay that tax as well. Is the lodger's tax going to be one of those things that's included? Because that's where a lot of, I don't mean the lodger's tax itself, I mean lodging. Is lodging going to be one of the things that gets taxed through this public safety sales tax? Because there's a lot of stuff that comes through that we may not see. The story in the local paper of the public safety sales tax, the defunding the sheriff's office, I don't know if it's just a back and forth that's being used to make the voters out there, well, we've got to pay for the sheriff, and the only way to do that is through a public sales tax. I would like to have some of that cleared up. And when will that sales tax go into effect if it is approved? So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next. All right. Seeing no other public comment, we'll close the public comment session of this, and we will move on into unfinished business. The first thing we have is we have 2 letters of interest for the Lodging Tax Committee. We have Lee Cloy, who currently is on the Lodgers Tax Committee, and we also have Brian Bartlett. Both have resubmitted letters of interest to have their reappointments for the next term. Is there anything else that I missed, guys?
No.
Okay.
I would so move we appoint Lee Cloy and Brian Bartlett to the Lodgers Tax Committee.
Do you know what the terms are?
I don't.
I believe it. Give me 1 second.
I want to say these are 4-year terms, aren't they? Ian?
I believe so, but don't hold me to that.
Three-year terms.
3 years.
3-year terms. Okay.
Second.
All right, so we moved and seconded to appoint Brian Bartlett and Lee Cloy to the Lodgers Tax Committee for 3-year terms. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We also have another appointment. These were presented to us yesterday by Emily. We have a couple letters of interest. I'm trying to find the piece of paper that we had it ironed out on. So, the appointments that we are looking at today, which would be for a proposed 3-year term, which would be Taylor Oliver, and a 2-year term, Don Bain. I did not receive any emails unless I missed them last night.
Mr. Anderson and I did get an email.
Okay.
And Ms. Lockhart indicated that she had looked at the bylaws. She sent us a copy of the bylaws. And what the bylaws say is that the initial appointment to this committee was designed to be 1, 2, and 3-year terms. Obviously, we're beyond that at this point in time. And so after that initial appointment, the bylaws say 3 years. So I think if you want to stick strictly with the bylaws, which I would suggest, 3-year terms are appropriate. I would recommend, since the terms are no longer staggered as they were originally intended to be, those bylaws probably need to be amended at some point so we can actually get a proper stagger. But the bylaws at this point read, after that initial appointment, it is 3-year terms.
Do you know how many's on that advisory? This is for the advisory council for the extension.
Yeah.
There's got to be at least 7 or 8 on there, I think, or there was at one time.
It shows 6 right now. With these 2 being appointed, there would be 6, if you look at that list. 2024, there would be 6 on the council now.
You okay with the 3 years? Yeah. I move to appoint Taylor Oliver and Don Bain, both to 3-year terms for the Extension Advisory Committee.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to appoint for a 3-year term Taylor Oliver and Don Bain to the Extension Advisory Committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Also in our discussion yesterday, we had our IGA, our dispatch agreement. I think we've pretty much hashed this one out for a period of several months, and I think we actually have it to what makes sense to all of us here at the county. Commissioner Lindsay, since you sit on this board, do you have anything else to add?
No, I mean, we've been playing, I guess, for lack of a better term, playing with this for the good part of a year and finally got all of the stuff ironed out of it. Looks pretty good. I want to thank Ian for doing a lot of the legwork.
Well, and certainly Mr. Coleman at the city was
Yes.
also very helpful, the city attorney, and so thanks to him as well.
Okay, gentlemen.
I would so move we approve the 2024 dispatch IGA agreement between us and I guess City of Cortez and the other agencies involved.
It's with all the other agencies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and sign the intergovernmental agreement for the dispatch services, IGA agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next, we have a decision on our secure transportation permitting for our community intervention program, CIP. It was also presented to us yesterday by our director, Bobby Locke, and this basically puts the new Mercedes Sprinter van that we purchased for the CIP program. This follows all the guidelines that we have to follow per the state's regulations, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. Anything else to add in?
Yeah, I think you pretty much summed it up. The counties are tasked with licensing these vehicles, and so what this is the application to license the CIP vehicle, and then you guys are ultimately the one that approves the license.
You okay?
Yeah.
I move to approve the secure transportation vehicle permit for the Montezuma County Public Health Department Community Intervention Program on the 2023 Mercedes Sprinter van, Type B secure transportation vehicle permit.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign the secure transportation vehicle permit as it pertains to the Mercedes Sprinter van, 2023 model year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Next, we had a discussion and a presentation from our road and bridge superintendent for the purchase of a new tractor. This is a 2024 model Western Star 49X. He did go out to bids. He got bids from Peterbilt, Kenworth, and Western Star. This is the best amount, and it also was going to, which they really like, was the Detroit 12-speed auto shift. Any questions?
No, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I would so move we approve the Western Star 49X Detroit DD16 Transit West truck out of Grand Junction bid in the amount of $159,154.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the 2024 replacement tractor truck, a Western Star 49X to Transwest truck out of Grand Junction in the amount of $159,154. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. New business, Ms. Frizzell. Looks like we have a couple liquor licenses.
My name's Jerry Frizzell. I do the liquor license for Montezuma County. Today I have a new liquor license for Pleasant View Liquors LLC, located at 26060 Highway 491. I have the letter from the Sheriff's Department saying that he did a neighborhood canvass, and that out of 17 residents, 2 opposed the liquor license, 4 had no opinion, and all the remainder would support the business. And there was a couple of the paperwork that wasn't filled out completely, and we've had everything filled out and signed for those.
No opposition in the canvass?
There was 4.
4?
4 out of 7, no, I'm sorry, 2 opposed the liquor license, 4 had no opinion, and the remainder would support the business license out of 17.
Okay.
Question?
No.
I have none. Okay.
Background checks and everything?
Yep, background checks and everything came back.
I would so move we approve the Pleasant View Liquor License, Pleasant View Liquors LLC retail license application. And they are located at 26060 Highway 491, Pleasant View.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the Colorado Liquor Retail License Application for Pleasant View Liquors LLC, located at 26060 Highway 491 in Pleasant View, Colorado. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right. Jerry, we have another
So we have a
renewal.
Renewal for Triple H&J Incorporated doing business as Smitty's Liquors at 10255 Highway 491 in Cortez. Have the letter from the sheriffs, and there's been no violations with this business.
Okay.
I move we renew this Smitty's retail liquor license renewal application for, what's the address there?
429. Or-
It's 10255 Highway 491, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the retail liquor license renewal application for Smitty Liquors located at 10255 Highway 491, Cortez, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Next on our new business is a discussion and a decision as it relates to our appointment to the Cortez Dispatch Advisory Committee. I think right now, Commissioner, you are our primary.
Primary, and I'm
Travis.
alternate.
And you are the secondary, right?
Right.
And this is just house cleaning, Commissioner. Each year we have to do this for the Cortez Dispatch Advisory.
Okay. Anything else to add to that?
No, They have moved away from monthly meetings and are going bi-monthly now, so it's every other month.
Good with it? So I would move that we keep our primary voting member as Commissioner Kent Lindsay and our alternate voting member, our Administrator Travis Anderson.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint as our primary voting member Commissioner Lindsay and our alternate voting member Administrator Anderson. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you guys for what you're doing out there too. I do appreciate it.
The new, I could put this in my commissioner's report, but the new equipment is arriving and being installed, and they're working out the bugs. And there seems to be a few bugs.
As normal.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like our new printer.
Very good. Well, we're kind of moving through this relatively quickly. Attorney's report. Mr. McLaren.
Yeah, so I recently, in conjunction with CDPHE, filed a motion to reduce the sanctions that have been assessed against Ironwood to judgment. What that means is that if this motion is granted, then a judgment, basically a money that's owed by Ironwood, will be assessed, and then we can invoice them, conceivably attached to property of either the corporation or the other defendants, owners and operators. Under the Solid Waste Act, an owner or operator can be liable for damages under the Solid Waste Act. And so that motion has been filed. Ironwood continues to be fined $70,000 per week that they remain out of compliance with the terms of the amended stipulated injunction, which required them to remove all the wood waste. The motion that I filed was for fines accrued through February 4th of this year. The total amount that is currently owed as of February 4th to Montezuma County is $288,750, and CDPHE is owed $293,750. There's a little discrepancy because the county received a little bit more money from Ironwood in those fines. And so that's where we'll stand. We'll await the court's ruling on that, and then, in the event that this judgment is entered, then we'll move forward with steps to try to collect that money and continue to try to induce compliance from Ironwood. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to report. I did have a conversation with our Fair Board yesterday. You guys recall that complaint was filed. We submitted our response back in early January. I did hear from the investigator at the state level, and he said that he would contact us if any further information was needed. I haven't heard anything on that, and so that continues to work its way through the state bureaucratic system. Other than that, though, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Appreciate it. Mr. Anderson.
Super busy week last week. We was in Washington, D.C. with NACO. But prior to that, we had a meeting with the League of Women Voters regarding the public safety sales tax. And hopefully they'll be the champions to push that forward. In NACO, I attended the steering committee on justice and public safety, and a lot of discussion topics, a lot of different strategies that they're trying to work through, some child predator bills, Safe Neighborhood Act, Law Enforcement SABRE Act, which is trauma kits in the car on the officer's person, trying to get some funding for that. Some de-escalation grant processes. And then some resolutions that was passed was ensuring equal access to and improving retention for veteran court treatment program. That was a pretty interesting discussion, trying to create special courts for veterans and helping, trying to get them some help. Some interim resolutions on preventing the expiration of the AFG and SAFER grants. That's currently unfunded. And then resolution urging the removal of specific ineligible cost language in FEMA Public Assistance and Program Guide. And that was pretty interesting as well. It was short, but basically if you have a bridge or road that's wiped out and it's beyond its usable lifespan, FEMA won't reimburse for repairs. So they're trying to get some different language in there to remove that so that we can get reimbursements for those infrastructure costs. Other than that, it was just run, meeting. And I'll let you talk about the NCA.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Copenhaver.
This past week, me and Kent both attended the Southwest Cattlemen's business meeting on Saturday. I had a meeting with Southwest on Wednesday and Thursday, both days, and then I attended the Mancos meeting on Wednesday evening also. So busy meeting all week, it seemed like last week, but it was good. We gave out quite a few grants out of Southwest to different organizations, studying different parts as far as monitoring the snow and the dust on the snow, and there's a lot of different programs going on. We gave out some grants to those. Gave out one to the Mancos Conservation District over there. Gave $50,000 to MVI to help with the repairs up at Groundhog as an emergency fund. So if you have a water program that you're doing and you're needing some help, it's always a place to look to see if that you might be able to get some grant money and help there to do some different programs, and not just educational programs. They do some construction repair stuff. We think there's going to be a lot of need in the next couple of years because they're changing the rules as far as the measurement and stuff of water and making it more strict. As far as any diversion of water, you're going to have a certified measuring device, basically is what it amounts to. And if you don't have that, they're going to be really strict about keeping you from diverting the water until you actually get an appropriate measurement device in. So it's going to affect a lot of people in this whole division here. And so we're thinking we're going to have quite a few requests to help to get those measuring devices brought up to speed. It won't affect large ditch companies as much because they already have appropriate measuring devices coming off the rivers, but the small individuals like up and down the Kelmo and even the adjudicated water rights that are diverted here in the valley, all of those are going to have to be up to speed in order for them to divert if these new division rules go through. They just approved the ones for up around Steamboat and that division up there. They're coming down here to Division 7 next. So it's going through the process right now of getting approved. They had several meetings around the area this last year to notify people and get their input about them, and then it'll go through the court process, and if it gets finalized, then these rules will go into effect, and they're going to enforce them a lot more than they have in the past. Just so people know what's going to happen, because all this adjudicated water is going to be measured more, or you won't be diverting it. Basically, is what it amounts to.
So is that just through weirs, or how do they?
Yeah, it can,
just through weirs?
as long as it's a certified weir where it's been actually built right, it's level and everything, then as long as you can measure the water, it's fine. But there's so much of it that's not measured, and things are not correct as far as it being level and all this stuff, because that makes a difference how much water can go through there. Yeah. And so all of that stuff's gonna have to be basically certified that it's built correctly and in proper place. So all of that's coming in the next year or so. I'm sure it'll go through the court, and it'll start to be enforced within the next year or so. Maybe might be 2 years down the road, but it's coming. Because they did go through the same process up around Steamboat in that division, water division up there, and then they moved down to the Division 7, which is this whole area here, next. And they've got the rules all written and everything. It's just a matter of it going through the court and getting certified. They will have a bunch more meetings again, probably this summer sometime, about these rules, so we'll see what happens. But I'm sure we're gonna get a bunch of requests to help fix a bunch of these diversion boxes and stuff, because they're gonna have to get up to par, just so people know what's coming.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, very good. Like Travis said, for him and I, we, actually all of our flights were on time, on schedule. Had no worries with that, so that was actually pleasant. There are long flights, and it takes a long time to get to and fro, but they were good. Spent most of my time in transportation and going over the public lands. Every meeting that I was in, I think every commissioner from the western part of the states talked about PILT and SRS. Still no decisions have been made up to this point in time. SRS is still, and I secure rural schools, and PILT, payment in lieu of taxes, and how that affects us here in this county. If you remember, and we've said this numerous times, that basically 73% of Montezuma County is public lands, and so we function on 27% of what's left, and then that's split into different taxing areas. We were able to meet with Nagoose staffer, Crow's staffer, Hickenlooper and Bennett staffer, Buck and Lamborn staffer, and the Congresswoman Boebert staffer in a meeting with all of the commissioners. We later were able to schedule a meeting over at the Longworth Building, which is the opposite side of the Capitol, and had a great meeting with Jeff Small, Congresswoman Boebert staffer, as it relates to the NCA. We weren't able to meet that day with Annalee, is that right, Travis? Anila? Hard name to say, from the Natural Resource Committee. But basically, our NCA right now, as it stands, is it's kind of stuck in the Natural Resource Committee before a hearing will even be called. So more to come on that. When we got back home, we actually had another meeting with her. We had a Zoom meeting and talked more about what's going on, and Commissioner Copenafer sits on that committee. So depending on where that committee's at, it's kind of where it sits back in Washington at this point in time. Moved on to CCI, went over our bill report for what happened last week, and then getting ready for this week, as I'll be up there voting on the rest of these bills for this week. Some of the biggest things that affect us and some that don't. Some of them are for counties over 70,000 people. But House Bill 1100 is part of the Coroners Association, and these guys are going to actually have to have a forensic pathologist if you're over 70,000 in population, which again, it's going to affect Mesa County on the western part of the state. Most of them are in the Front Range. But I look at this and I'm like, forensic pathologists are rare, and they're super expensive. So, more to come on that. A lot of discussion on the House Bill 1114, the pet animal euthanization. I'm just going to leave that one alone. Some of the things that are going to affect us down here are, there are going to be some new programs for development for childcare, 3 new programs that are coming out. They're going to be run by DOLA. ADUs, which a lot of you all will be listening to, auxiliary dwelling units, requiring, and most of that's going to be for the MPOs, the Metropolitan Planning Organizations. And those are all coming in the numbers of House Bill 1152 and House Bill 1304. 1304 is, which is enforcing the parking, the minimum parking for these places, and that's mostly in the MPOs, the Metropolitan Planning Organizations. House Bill 1300, which is something that we'll be watching pretty closely. It's for home sales for wildfire mitigation requirements, and it applies to only 12 counties at this point in time. But once they get 12 in, no telling where it will be. And that's basically kind of like homes now. You have to do home inspections prior to the sale. This will basically be a wildfire mitigation requirement if they're found to be in the WUI, the Wildland Urban Interface. A lot of concerns over Senate Bill 131. We're moving to the Senate side now. Prohibit carrying firearms in sensitive spaces, and there'll be a lot more discussion on this as we get up there this week. One that will really affect us down here is Senate Bill 139, the creation of a new 911 services enterprise. So right now we serve as the board of the E911 Authority, which is where we purchase all of our equipment, which Commissioner Lindsay just alluded to. We have all of our new equipment coming in. But this is going to be another creation of another service on top of that as an enterprise. So a lot more to come on that. A big one for us, Senate Bill 91, which is prohibit the right-of-way permits for broadband development. It's a CCI priority bill. There were discussions that are happening up there right now, so I'll have more to report on that as we get done this week. I did attend a special meeting Thursday night for the town of Dolores. They are looking, they had their town manager resign Monday night, so they had a special meeting Thursday night to see if they could find an interim to get them going as quickly as possible as they search for a new town manager. So a lot of happenings. Something I did want to bring up too, if you guys didn't watch the workshop yesterday, Emily Lockhart had a lot of classes that are going on for CSU Extension, and a lot of those are going to be held out at the Lewis Area Ola Community Center. Some pretty good classes, and it sounds like they have some pretty good participation going on in it right now. Obviously, Travis is showing them at the screen right now. We have on the 20th, livestock, I'm not even sure how you say that.
Arbitration.
There you go.
That word there, huh?
Yeah. On the 20th, livestock nutrition. On the 23rd, March 2nd, general livestock care. Commissioner Copenhaver is actually going to be the veterinarian out there, so kudos. Thank you, sir, for what you do for that, for our community in our area. But there's some pretty good information that she presented to us yesterday. If you haven't seen it, jump on their website and you can gather this information also.
Or drop in the office over there. They're glad to help.
And I think I've somewhat covered it all.
Dang.
It was a super busy week.
We were.
You know, the weather back there was a little dreary and drizzly, and, well, I was going to say more than drizzly. It was kind of snow mixed with rain, and we did a lot of walking. We did a ton of walking back there. So anyway, that concludes my report, and I have nothing else, gentlemen.
Yeah, like Gerald said, we went to the Cattlemen's Association meeting last Saturday, but we also did attend a preview meeting down in Toyoak of the new solar project they're proposing down there. And this project seems to be getting bigger and bigger as it goes along. We thought it was just the area down there just south of Toyoak along 160 down there towards the Four Corners, but now this is just one of 4 that are proposed. So it's going to turn into quite a project down there. And got to talking with Chairman Hart down there, and they're pretty optimistic what's going to happen. They're going to build a plant to manufacture solar panels out there, and it's going to be between the Weemanooch building and the highway out there. And the other ones are proposed. The other one's proposed down there, the 141 turnoff that goes to Aneth, and one in Utah, which I didn't get. They didn't say where it was going to be, but I'm thinking it's over there around White Mesa somewhere over in there. And then the 4th one is down in New Mexico, which is what, just north of San Juan Generating, Gerald, down there on that ground they own?
Yes, they have some ground down in New Mexico, what they call the Decker pasture, and it's just north of that generator station down there, back up in there.
Yeah, these are very big projects. The one that was proposed out here at one time was around 200 and some megawatts, and this one down here by south of Toyoak is 970 megawatts. So these are big farms. Over 1 million panels are going to be involved in this. And there's some battery backup going to go in, and this is probably going to be the 3rd largest solar project in North America. So we'll see how this comes about. So, and the Cattlemen's was a good meeting. If y'all didn't attend, you should have. It was a good meal. And for the, I don't know how many year in a row, I didn't win no quilt. Been trying to win that quilt for a long time. But then I was out of town. I didn't get a chance to go to the city council meeting, but I did get a chance to look up their agendas and stuff. They got some reports, received some reports from the municipal judge, Cortez Fire Department, and a consultant for CHAFA, Colorado Housing Authority, on the 7th Street housing assessment. And you can go to YouTube. Their meetings are up on YouTube if you'd like to look. Talking to a couple of members of the council and the city manager, it looked like a pretty small agenda and it was going to not take much time. Well, they ended up being there till well after 11 o'clock that evening. So I suggest you, if you would like to get a little sleepy time, go to YouTube and find out. I don't mean to dismiss what they were doing, but it's a long meeting to watch. So other than that, just busy, meetings, phone calls.
The only other thing to add to that for the elections for the municipalities, I think we've already stated this, that Dolores has 6 trustees up. I think Mancos has 5, and Cortez has 4. So there's a lot happening and changing in the municipalities. With that,
I think Kim's doing 4 elections this year. So
is there anything you would like to add, Kim, on those? Or your accuracy training, or?
No, we did our logic and accuracy testing, and it was complete and 100% accurate. And we did, ballots went out, and they're all coming in. We received a little over 700 ballots over the weekend. The municipal ballots, I believe, are going out like March 11th or something. You looking for those?
All right. Okay.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this February 20th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.